Welcome to our virtual introduction to the spectacular M by Montefiore development. I am Melanie Lindenberg, Director of Client and Community Relations at Montefiore. We're overwhelmed this evening by the wonderful response, with more than 200 people in the audience. Before we begin, I encourage you to use the Q&A function on your screen to ask us questions as you like, which we'll attempt to answer. And if we aren't able to do that this evening, because obviously there's limited time, we'll do so directly by email. Tonight, our two panelists are Robert Orry and Linda Begg, both of whom a lot of you have met, but you'll get more of an introduction to them as we go. Robert is the CEO of Montefiore and is considered one of the preeminent leaders in the aged care arena in Australia today. Currently, Robert is also Deputy Chair of the National Board of LASER, which is the aged care industry peak body responsible for myriad representations, not least of which is lobbying government on behalf of providers. Linda is our M Sales Manager, and we're extremely grateful to have had her in this role from before the building commenced. She's a well-known Eastern Suburbs realtor, having sold multiple multi-dwelling developments in the past. Today, Montefiore is a world leader in not only aged care, for which we are so well known, but the full continuum of care. We have also, for the past 10 years, managed a home care business. Some of you may have seen the offices in Double Bay, and now complete the suite with our independent living offering. Tonight, to begin with, you'll be treated to a virtual tour by communal leader Danny Tybal, Director of Charleston's Auctions. He'll take you through the stunning new development, followed by a Q&A with Robert Orry and Linda Begg. Enjoy the video.
Welcome to M by Montefiore, offering trusted aged care services to the community for the past 130 years. Montefiore now brings you the very best in independent senior living at M by Montefiore. Designed by leading architectural firm Jackson Teese, the design and finishes are comparable with the finest contemporary luxury apartments. Close to parks, beaches and cafes, the prime Eastern Suburbs location in Randwick makes this an unparalleled opportunity. Choose from 79 different layouts of 1, 2 and 3 bedroom apartments with generous outdoor spaces. Enjoy resort-style 5-star facilities, including a club lounge, private cinema, swimming pool, fitness center and landscape gardens. Take the dedicated M by Montefiore shuttle bus to nearby shopping and entertainment precincts. For peace of mind, the M development includes secure underground parking and storage, 24-hour security, and emergency call buttons. The Club Lounge is a hub for residents to relax in with light meals and drinks served throughout the day. Residents can enjoy a daily complimentary continental breakfast. Dedicated concierge services are available to make your life easier and attend to your needs. Multi-purpose function spaces are available for larger gatherings and celebrations. Enjoy a cinema experience without leaving home in our private boutique screening room for 25 people. The beautiful landscaped gardens and terraces include barbecue facilities. They are a great place to socialize with friends and family. The property boasts a fitness center and stunning mosaic-tiled indoor pool with an accessibility ramp. Unwind in the adjoining indoor and outdoor lounge areas. The apartments are generously proportioned with a choice of floor plans and color schemes. The open plan design allows you to enjoy indoor and outdoor living. Kitchens include premium appliances, marble splashback and bench tops, pull-out pantry, soft closed drawers and ample storage. The large, light-filled bedrooms include 100% wool carpet. Master bedrooms feature spacious walk-in wardrobes and en-suites, while other bedrooms offer ample built-in storage. Everything is at your fingertips, including lighting options, temperature control, and even a nurse call button, which reaches healthcare professionals at the adjoining Montefiore residential care site. Streamlined, smart, and accessible bathrooms include premium fixtures and heated towel rails. Each apartment includes an internal laundry for convenience. M by Montefiore offers true maintenance-free living, including a weekly housekeeping service and all repairs attended to.
So you've now seen the amazing footage, and I can say, having sat right alongside it for 2 years, this development has been exceptional in every way. The builders, Richard Crooks, have not in any way disrupted the aged care residents and staff, and have been none short of outstanding in their collaboration, bearing in mind we've lived through a global pandemic. I'd like to begin this evening by asking Robert Orry about how the concept of M came about, the raison d'etre.
Thanks, Mel, and good evening, everybody. Look, I think there were three main factors that led to the realisation of M by Montefiore. Firstly, as a communal-based organisation, one of our strategic goals is to meet the needs of the community. And in this regard, we recognise the increasing need for high-quality apartment-style living. There was clearly a need for this type of product. Secondly, we wanted to add retirement living to our suite of services. So I think, as Mel mentioned in her introduction, so that we could offer the full continuum of care, ranging from help at home for those still living in the community, to retirement living and onto residential aged care if required. And finally, as a not-for-profit and charitable organisation, we reinvest funds into the provision of care and services, and the proceeds from M by Montefiore will help us to continue to deliver the quality services, particularly to the large cohort of full pensioners that we care for on a daily basis. Unfortunately, the reality is that funding in aged care is insufficient to provide a quality service, so we need to find ways to cross-subsidise our services. Mel, if it's okay, just whilst I've got the opportunity, I'd just like to acknowledge the Board of Management for their part in making M by Montefiore a reality and for delivering all the benefits I have just mentioned. It was a large project and it wouldn't have happened without the foresight and support of the board. I'd also like to particularly acknowledge the efforts of our President, David Freeman, who chaired the Montefiore Development Committee and who spent countless hours over many years overseeing this amazing project, along with fellow committee and board members, Gary Inberg, Tom Morter and Michael Graf. I think along with the project managers, all the consultants and all the professional staff from Monty that were involved in the project, I can only describe it as being a very, very large team effort.
Thanks, Robert. It really is a jewel in the crown of our community. It is something to be seen. Robert, perhaps we can go on to just talk about the main points of difference. What is different about M by Montefiore?
Good question, Mel. I think firstly, and maybe foremost, Montefiore's been operating for over 130 years. And I think it's fair to say we have an unrivaled reputation for providing quality care. With that, I believe, comes a peace of mind that you are dealing with an experienced and reputable operator. In addition, as I think I've just mentioned a few moments ago, we're a not-for-profit and charitable organisation, so we reinvest funds into care and services to ensure that we can maintain the high standards that we have become known for. This not only supports the services we provide at M by Montefiore, but services we provide across our entire organisation. In terms of the development itself, I think the fact that it's co-located to a large residential aged care campus means access to additional support services and health professionals is always at hand. And I think that's very important for people living in M by Montefiore. All of the apartments come with an emergency call system. So the close proximity to health professionals 24 hours a day, 7 days a week is obviously a huge benefit. I'd also like to point out to prospective residents that the close proximity to staff makes the delivery of any additional services you might need far more efficient and therefore more cost effective. For example, if you're living elsewhere in the community, the time it takes a staff member to travel to your location increases the cost of receiving that service. At M by Montefiore, because the staff are close at hand, we can deliver the service more cost effectively to you. And finally, and I think this is fairly important, because we operate both the M by Montefiore Retirement Village and the residential aged care campus, we offer residents of M by Montefiore priority access if residential aged care becomes necessary. For couples where one member may require residential aged care and the other wishes to remain in the apartment, we are able to utilise the equity in the apartment to offset the cost of residential aged care. What that does is effectively removes the worry of having to find additional funds to finance the cost of entering the residential aged care facility. And because it is co-located, the person remaining in the apartment can easily visit the partner and continue to maintain a very close relationship with them.
And that really is extremely attractive, that co-location, not having to travel to be with one's partner during the day. That really does give peace of mind, and especially for people moving in together who might at a later date feel that there's a need. Robert, you want to tell us about some of the services, because having been up there a number of times after during the past couple of weeks, I can honestly say that there is everything that opens and shuts. So what does one get if you move into an apartment at Monty?
Thanks, Bill. Well, I don't think I have to probably labour on this too much if everybody paid a bit of attention to the video, because I think that really highlighted not just the amazing and outstanding quality of the amenities that are provided and the broad range of amenities, but just the attention to detail within the facility. But just to give you just a quick overview, all residents living at M by Montefiore, they're entitled to receive 30 minutes of housekeeping per week. So, and that can be directed to do different things if they like. And everybody is entitled to access, everybody that lives there is entitled to access a continental breakfast that we serve daily in the club lounge. So it's very convenient for those living there. We have, as you saw, concierge services. And after hours, there is security on site. So it's a very, very secure living environment for people. We have a shuttle bus service that runs regularly to local shopping precincts. As also mentioned, there's 24-hour emergency assist if anybody requires it. And just in terms of the amenities, beautiful club lounge and lobby bar, 25-seat private cinema, a heated pool and fitness centre, outdoor barbecue and recreational areas. And we have a number of function spaces that we can configure into different sizes that can be booked for private functions if people need it. And I think, as I already mentioned, the other thing is if you want any additional support services up and above what I've just mentioned, They're readily available through our Help at Home services, and they can be provided very cost effectively to those living at End by Montefiore.
So Robert, I can see the questions popping up around the size of the apartments and the financial model, but one that's just popped up in front of me is very important. I'll give this one to Linda. What happens if my daughter wants to visit from interstate or my grandchildren want to sleep over?
Thanks, Mel. We're delighted to be able to have host the family members as well. You know, we understand that a lot of people do have family interstate or overseas that come to visit. So we can have people stay up until 7 days. After 7 days, they just need to let us know how long their stay will be. But we're very delighted to be able to have people and relatives stay with the family.
Which is fabulous, because it really does lend itself to that, given that some of our apartments are 2 or 3 bedrooms, and definitely would be able to facilitate that if there were interstate visitors or young grandchildren that came to sleep over on Shabbat or anything like that.
I have to say, Mel, so it's just some of the one-bedders with study. The study could easily accommodate a fold-out bed or a grandchildren staying over.
Absolutely.
Comfortably.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so then I guess we need to talk about the financial model, because I can see people asking questions around that. Robert, would you like to go through the financial model for anyone wanting to come into End by Montefiore?
Sure, and I suspect this would be one of the first questions that would pop up. First, I mean, it's important, I think, to understand up front that you don't actually own your apartment in a typical strata title arrangement. Your right to occupy an apartment falls under the provisions of the New South Wales Retirement Villages Act and is based on a special type of leasing arrangement. This has a number of advantages. Firstly, there's no stamp duty applicable to entering End by Montefiore, which can save you a considerable amount of money compared to purchasing a strata titled apartment. In addition, you're not responsible for any repairs and maintenance. We take care of all of that for you. But perhaps most importantly, you have access to all those support services and amenities that come with living at End by Montefiore that I've already mentioned, and which, as I said, was clearly evident, I think, in the video. But back to the financial model and the pricing. Under the leasing arrangement, residents pay what's known as a refundable lump sum amount upon entry, known as an entry contribution or a lease premium. At End by Montefiore, the amount of the refundable entry contribution varies depending on the size of the apartment and its location, but is generally not dissimilar to what you would expect to pay for a new apartment located in the eastern suburbs of Sydney. When you depart, we refund the entry payment less what is known as a departure fee. This departure fee effectively represents the lease payments applicable to the duration of your stay. So the amount of the departure fee depends on the length of your stay and is calculated at a rate of 7% of the value of the entry contribution per year, but only applies for a maximum of 5 years. In other words, once you pass 5 years of occupancy, the departure fee does not increase beyond 35%. So if you live at End by Montefiore for, say, 10 years or more, your lease payments effectively cease after the first 5 years, and the most you'll ever pay as a departure fee is 35% of your entry contribution.
Okay, and any ongoing fees?
Yeah, there's additional monthly fees known as recurrent charges. I suppose they're almost identical to or similar to the strata levies or body corporate fees that you would expect to pay if you were living in a typical strata type apartment. And that's really as a contribution towards the ongoing maintenance and operational cost of the village itself.
Right, it was interesting. One of the new residents was asking today about changing a light bulb. You know, anything that requires any maintenance in the building is done by our team, which takes a huge load off most people, I'd say.
I mean, technically, we don't really have to offer to change people's light globes, because if you're renting an apartment, for example, it's not something that's typically covered by your lease. But at the time, we felt we didn't really want to put residents at risk at all and make it as comfortable for them as possible. So, you know, if you happen to need to change a light globe, even though all the light globes are long-lasting LEDs, so it's very unlikely that you'll ever need to. But if you do, we'll send the maintenance fellow out to do it for you.
Yeah, as Danny said, the finishes and the thought that's gone into the finishes in these apartments is second to nothing. I mean, Italian marble bench tops, nothing like I've ever seen before. Miele appliances, purpose inbuilt Fisher and Paykel dish
drawers,
fridges, dish drawers, double dish drawers, 2 in each apartment. And actually, one of the very amazing things is that every apartment is finished in the same way. So it doesn't matter whether it's a 1, 2, or 3 bedroom apartment, the finishes are identical. Someone was saying today they're enjoying the underfloor heating in the bathrooms. It really is a state-of-the-art product. Linda, someone is asking about the size of the apartments. Can you tell us a little bit, whilst they're all different, can you tell us a little bit about the sizes?
Absolutely, Mel. The apartments are very large in comparison to a normal residential apartment. Our 1-bedroom apartments are 85 squares, so that's particularly big. Our largest apartment, which is a 3-bedroom plus study, is 285 squares. So we've got the gamut of everything that will suit the people coming in.
Excellent. And again, as I said, the apartments are really generally quite different from each other. So the aspects are different. Some have city views, some look out over the Randwick precinct. All of them are very light and bright, and that was something that I felt was quite attractive to some of our buyers. Do you want to talk a little about the blinds and, you know, extra inclusions that we haven't covered?
All the apartments, Mel, have remote control blinds. We have a block out blind plus a sheer. So those apartments that are facing west, we've done everything to sort of try and minimise the light and the heat to the apartments. We've got state-of-the-art air conditioning throughout the development. We've got the best of everything, and it's the most beautiful, luxurious apartments that you could be in.
And just another question, roughly the age range of the people that seem to be attracted to this type of living, Linda?
Mel, the cohort that we've got in at the moment, they're around about the 78 age marks. So between 70 and 80 is the residents so far. We've had 8 groups move in the last 2 weeks, and with more to come in the next couple of weeks. So it's been a lovely transition for people from their home into the apartments.
I actually saw them sitting down, some of them sitting down and having breakfast this morning. It's very lovely to see the whole development come to life. We have underground parking for everybody, so all the apartments come with underground parking garages, right?
That's good.
Okay, and the other thing that I noticed when I was walking through the garage the other day is that they have storage cages.
Now, all the apartments have a good sized storage cage, which is located in front of their parking space. So which in a residential apartment block is something that's particularly good, because we do give our residents plenty of space to store away their goods that they can't quite fit into their apartment.
Yeah, because many people are coming out of large homes, and this will be a big change for them. Okay, here's a question. Can a small pet live at M by Montefiore?
Mel, we welcome pets. We just need to know they're coming, of course. You know,
no Great Danes is what you're saying.
No Great Danes.
Okay, fair enough.
But the smaller pets, you know, your birds, your fish, your small dogs or your cats, you know, a lot of people these days have companion pets, and we understand that and we welcome them as well.
Okay, and then I thought we could talk a little about the function centre. So there's a most magnificent function centre that can divide into 4 spaces alongside our club lounge. And I'm aware that the residents of M can use those spaces. There's no cost to hire them, but of course then our catering department can bring in catering, say, for an evening, a dinner party or a Shabbat dinner or a high holy day.
Absolutely, Mel. We've got terrific function areas, and we expect people will have a Shabbat dinner for their families, and we're looking forward to doing the catering for them. We also do all-day dining as well. So if, you know, from lunch through to the evening, our residents are able to get something to eat from our cafe.
Excellent. And I also saw the other day that we're going to be offering frozen meals to the residents' apartments if they'd like to, that they can pre-order from the kitchen, you know, should they wish to, and keep them in their deep freeze for the week.
That's correct, Mel. We're streamlining the process for our residents.
Right. Excellent. Linda, someone just asked the question again. What is the size range of the 2-bedroom apartments? Can you just go over that again?
Absolutely. Our 2-bedroom apartments range from about 120 internal, from 102 internal right up to 120 internal. So we've got very large apartments.
Yeah, and the terraces are magnificent.
They are. The large north-facing terraces are about 50 squares, so they make a beautiful apartment.
Yeah, excellent. So back to the dining experience. So one can actually dine in the club lounge all day if you'd like to, and then rent out the space if you wish to as well.
Absolutely.
And entertain there, of course. Someone's asked about visitors parking. Yes, there is some. Otherwise, though, there's so much street parking around this area now that the builders have left, that is. But there is plenty of street parking in the local area.
Yeah, that's great.
Another thing that's exciting is we have a movie theatre, a cinema, right?
That's correct. We have a movie cinema that will take about 26 people plus a couple of wheelchairs. So we're looking forward to doing sort of regular screenings of movies, but also that movie theatre can do Netflix and Stan and your normal free-to-air TV. So and families are also able to organise to rent that space if they wanted to do a family screening of something.
Patrick, the manager, was saying to me today that if you invite your family in, obviously pre-book it, and invite your family in, you can actually load your own Netflix account and binge whatever it is you're watching at that moment with the family. I mean, that sounds amazing.
No, that's correct. It's going to be wonderful. It'll be generated by our residents. We'll help select what movies will be seen, but it's a beautiful space, and we're looking forward to everyone enjoying watching our movies that we'll be screening.
Okay, and some of you may have seen our bus driving around the eastern suburbs. So it goes from M to where, Lynn? Where does that bus go these days?
The bus, at the moment, the bus will be going from M to Bondi Junction, probably the spot, which is sort of the dining precinct of Randwick. And it's probably something that will grow as well as we go along. But at the moment, we've got a plan to go to Bondi Junction and back, and then to the spot.
Yeah, and I guess we'll be guided by the residents as they come in.
Absolutely.
To be able to decide where they most would like to visit. So someone's asking about Wi-Fi. Robert, that's an area we haven't touched on yet. Would you like to talk about the technical things?
Thanks, Mel. Yeah, all of the apartments come both with hardwired points for internet connection and also full Wi-Fi coverage. We recently finalised all the connections and the agreements with Foxtel, and I believe Foxtel are even offering us a special package at the moment for those who want to sign up for one of the Foxtel packages. So they're free to do that. But because there is Wi-Fi available throughout the apartments, You know, most people are probably going to be choosing streaming things like Netflix or Stan and so forth. And we're also able to offer a range of Wi-Fi options in terms of speeds, and even our cheapest and lowest package, because the Wi-Fi connection is delivered by Montefiore, by us, and it is a commercial connection, so it's actually quicker than NBN in terms of its delivery. We can offer a range of different packages, but even the base level package is more than adequate to be streaming shows and entertainment through your televisions.
And the other thing that's wonderful about this development is that all of the access is by a swipe card. Yeah. So you're actually not carrying a key at all. I noticed that everyone receives a card and is able to swipe into the building. And the lift needs swipe access for security purposes. So to be buzzed up to an apartment or to go into the apartment, it's all by access from the actual apartment. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, that's right. We were very security conscious for obvious reasons. And so if, for example, you have a visitor, the visitor can come into the entry of the car park, which is a secure roller door on it. They can buzz the apartment, you can speak to them, you can activate the garage door to open it for them, then they will be directed to the visitor car park. And then similarly, they need your access to allow them to come up through the lift to their apartment. So it's all very safe and secure.
Absolutely. And the other thing that I thought was fabulous was that there are two buildings. So you might all have noticed that, but I suppose I'm not sure how everyone's orientated to it, but there are two buildings. If one wants to go down from the first building into the second, from 100 to 110, where the swimming pool and gym are, one can do that through the basement. So you don't actually have to walk out on street level. So there's some privacy around that. So, you know, if you were in your toweling gown and you wanted to go for a swim, it's very easy to do that. That gym and swimming pool really do need to be seen to be believed. They're spectacular. And they also have an outdoor space there so that if one's entertaining, you know, you could meet friends there and use the pool as an entertaining area as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of effort's been put into securing the best gym equipment and this magnificent swimming pool. There are a few more questions. The maximum number of pets. Well, I don't think we've been asked that yet.
I think we have to take that on a case-by-case basis.
Exactly. Well, I suppose a budgie and a goldfish would be okay.
Yeah, depending on what the animals are. And yeah, exactly.
2 Great Danes, that might be a problem. And I guess I think a lot of people are concerned that there is parking. I just want to reiterate, there is parking for all the apartments.
Yeah, every apartment has at least one allocated space, and the 3-bedroom apartments have 2 allocated spaces.
Okay. The other thing, a few people have asked us various questions that may have been covered before or are specific to them, as Robert said, on a case-by-case basis. There will be a link tomorrow to review this, and we will also try and directly answer your questions from the Q&A. So we actually have screenshots of the questions, and we'll try and answer the specific questions directly tomorrow morning. Robert, did you want to add anything about the aspects, about the view, the outlook of the apartments, what direction they look at, what you see from obviously the higher floors, and also about the garden apartments?
Yeah, look, I've been in every single apartment, and I'm sure Linda's obviously done exactly the same as me. And I think we've been impressed by both the uniqueness of all the apartments, but also just the benefit of their particular aspect, which varies between the apartments. So, for example, you've got the apartments that face effectively north, and most of them have a pretty good view of the city skyline, for example. But then, you know, some of the garden apartments just have a beautiful vista of gardens and so forth to look at, which in my view is equally attractive. Even the south-facing apartments. I mean, there's one apartment in particular that is my favourite apartment, which has the most enormous terrace. I mean, you could have a serious party. COVID restrictions lifted. You could have a serious party on this terrace, but the balcony of it, the terrace actually wraps around the side, so you've got an equally beautiful view of the city skyline. So all of the apartments are spectacular.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so that apartment that Robert refers to has a barbecue and a wine fridge on the terrace, and he and I are you know, we're seeing if we're old enough. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, definitely.
Not yet.
Is there anything you'd like to add, Linda?
I'd like the opportunity to give everyone a tour of the beautiful development. So if they're interested, you know, contact us and I'll take you through, and we'll look at the pool and the gym and the cinema and throughout the apartment. So I really welcome anybody to contact us and have a tour.
There are a number of people asking directly about the cost of the apartments. So as Robert said, comparable to an equivalent apartment in the eastern suburbs. They do all vary in size, so the prices are different, but very easily communicated to you through Linda, who will be able to have a conversation with you on the phone or take you for a walk through. We will be sending out all the links to you so that you're able to contact Linda or ask further questions, and we're very available to be able to answer those. Robert, is there anything you'd like to add?
Look, I think we've covered a fair bit. I think the thing I would impress upon people is that, you know, apart from the fact that you're buying a high quality, beautiful apartment with the most amazing finishes, living in by Montefiore is a lot more than just the apartment. It's about all of the amenities and services and support you can get by living there. It's very much a lifestyle choice. And I think that's very important. And I think the fact that it's maintenance-free living, I mean, you know, those of you out there that have, you know, bigger homes, and you're probably quite aware of the burden of actually maintaining a big house. It is just, you know, such a wonderful and refreshing change to not have to worry about that at all and to leave all of that to us. So, you know, that's just some of the benefits that I can mention.
Okay, so thank you all for joining us tonight. We hope you found it informative, and we look forward to welcoming you, as I said, in person to view the stunning M by Montefiore property. Linda's available to take you through on any weekday and can certainly make an appointment on the weekend if a weekday doesn't suit. What we thought we'd do this evening is end with a webinar that was produced by our talented builders, Richard Crooks Construction, which outlines the development process and the quality features of the development. The reason that we were encouraged to show you the video is it shows the absolute passion with which they delivered this project. It's absolutely palpable in the video. It's such a pleasure to work with this most dedicated and professional team. And for all of you celebrating, we wish you a sweet and happy New Year.
What we're building here, or have built here at Montefiore, is a 79-unit luxury, super luxury retirement living complex under the deferred management scheme.
This project came about for two main reasons. One was there was demand from the community for very high quality apartment style retirement living. And secondly, just as part of our overall philosophy of care, we currently provide a full spectrum of aged care services, but the missing piece of the puzzle for that continuum of care for us was retirement living. So that was one of the main driving factors for why the organisation pursued this development.
I think what's special about M at Montefiore is, for me, the technical solutions on the services side. It's a project first of its kind in retirement living.
We all have our selected apartments that we like the best, but overall the building's fantastic to look at from the outside. The landscaping's fantastic. The operational things we did were fantastic, such as the loading dock and the tunnel. So it just makes you proud to get it right.
The main reasons we chose RCC was, I think their reputation was very important to us. They have a very good reputation both in the aged care space, and just in general construction, and that was important to us.
One of the main challenges was working within a live environment of a working nursing home, especially when COVID came along and the challenges of needing to keep our workforce completely separate from their residents and their functionality to ensure there's no issues there. And also with supply of materials as well. The baguettes themselves were coming from China, and during the peak of the manufacture is when COVID hit. So there were delays around obtaining those materials, that we had to change construction sequences to still achieve program, but to obviously still achieve the final product.
I think the working partnership with the larger part of the team has been second to none. I mean, I feel blessed to have been on a job where we haven't pulled the contract out once. We've all just worked together, improved lots of aspects of the project as we went along, from mechanical services to electrical services to the finishes coordination on the job.
I love taking the various user groups from Montefiore around the building and seeing their face light up and their eyes light up with excitement of how the building looks and how it's going to help their operational as well. I think it's been very collaborative in ensuring that the services and the way Montefiore, this building will operate, will be well integrated into the existing facility.
My favourite part of the building is the northern elevation, and I stand back and I look at it regularly and just think, I can't believe we built that.
The thing I'm proudest most about that is the way the team worked to not only value engineer the baguettes, but to actually come up with a superior architectural design. It wasn't as if any quality or any design was compromised through that value engineering process.
Oh, I think we're all very proud, Richard Crooks Constructions and Equity Development Management, that we can always drive up King Street and have a look at it and see how wonderful it is.
I think what I'm most proud of on this project is that after 3 decades in the industry, we finally get to deliver the best building in Sydney in terms of apartment living and aged care living. And I think for Martin and I, we have been around long enough to know that this will be the pinnacle in terms of quality and amenity of any building we ever build. And it's just great to put that feather in our cap, and no matter what we do from here, we'll always remember this job.